Okay, it says babies born weighing 2,500 grams or less are called low birth weight babies. Okay, so low birth weight is defined as 2,500 grams or less. Okay, and it says the mean birth weight for US born children is 3,462, so the mean is equal to 3,462, and the standard deviation, the mean birth weight for babies born 1 month early, so this is US children, and this is for the mean weight for babies born early is 2,622. So these are babies born 1 month early. The standard deviation for both groups is 500. And it's going to say we're going to assume that they're roughly unimodal and symmetric. Okay, so we're going to say unimodal and symmetric. Okay. All right, so they're roughly that. There's a tiny bit of skew if you look at the actual data, but we're going to pretend that it's unimodal and symmetric for this. And it says find the standardized z-score. Okay, what is the z-score of of a birth weight of 2,500 grams relative to all US births? Okay, z-score of basically 2,500 grams relative to all US babies. Okay, and so we want to know how many standard deviations above or below the mean are we when we have a baby that's 2,500 grams. Okay, so a baby that's 2,500 grams, we got to figure out how far below the mean it is. The mean is 3,462, and that distance, each standard deviation is 500 grams. So 2,500 minus 3,462. This tells me I am 926 grams below the average, and each standard deviation is 500 grams. I'm sorry, not 926, 962. 962 below the average, so I do 962 divided by 500, and this gives me a negative 1.924. So this is my z-score, also known as the standardized score. So this is the z-score of a baby that's classified as low birth weight. Okay, almost 2 standard deviations below the mean. Okay, for babies that are born 1 month early, okay, so find z-score of 2,500 grams basically relative to babies born a month early. Alright, so in this case, my z-score is going to be 2,500, and we want to know how much lower is it than average. So the average birth weight of babies born early is 2,622, so we're still below the average, and the standard deviation is 500, but this time we're not that far below the average. So this time 2,500 minus 2,622 gives me negative 122, and each standard deviation is 500. So this time we're below the mean, but we're not even 1 standard deviation below the mean. In fact, we are only negative 0.244 standard deviations below the mean. So this is my z-score here. Okay, and it says, for which group is a birth weight of 2,500 grams more common? Explain what this means. Unusual z-scores are far from 0. So it is more common to have a low birth weight baby if it is born 1 month early. Okay, and that makes intuitive sense. It makes sense that babies born a month early are going to weigh less than babies born at full term. But we can see it when we look at the z-scores. And here we see the z-score is negative 2.244, and here the z-score is negative 1.924. So when we compare a low birth weight baby to babies born a month early, we're not that far away from the mean. We're not that far from zero. We're only 0.244 standard deviations below the mean. But when we look at a low birth weight baby for babies born full term, we are nearly 2 standard deviations. We're 1.9 standard deviations below the mean. So this means it's more unusual. A low birth weight baby is more unusual for babies born full term.